Hope my audio is clear with my limited bandwidth that I'm connected with. So anybody has a question from the previous session? Kiran, you got a question from the previous session or something? I think we did formation or anything from the labs that you did?
No.
So today we'll be learning about another aspect of networking called as NAT gateways. NAT gateways. Okay. So that's the agenda for today. All right. Now, we're drawing this infrastructure diagram for quite some time. Now, this is your VP within which you have created your subnets. This is your subnet 1, and this is your subnet 2. And within that, go ahead and create instances. This is an instance 1, which is a web server. And because it's a web server, you'll preferably put that in a public subnet. When you put that in a public subnet, it means that this will get a public IP. This is a web server. And the other one is where I want to keep database. It's a private subnet. It is confidential. I would really like to keep that in my private, right? Because I don't know these instances to get a public IP. I want them to get just a private IP. And if they have to communicate with each other, they can via security groups, right? So here, this machine is your, let's say, a web, and this is something else, maybe like a database server, right? That's a database server, right? Now, if you would ever like to communicate from internet, right? You will come all the way from the internet, right? This will be connecting all the way from the internet to the web server. Of course, there is a there is internet gateway here, and in the internet gateway, the routes to allow the traffic, and the web server then communicates to communicates with the other database server. Right? So if it has to talk, it will just talk like that. The web server will then talk like that. Right? This is clear, right? This. There's a one-way communication. Now, since this machine has a public IP, so the instances with public IP can enter.
Hold on real quick.
Yes?
There's an echo.
There's a lot of echo.
Yeah.
Okay. Just is it better now? Manny?
Still the same.
Is it any better now?
Nah. Can anybody else hear that?
Is it any better, Kiran?
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay. Let's continue. Let me know if there is any problem. So I've got the instances with the public IP can talk to the internet. That means if they can talk to the internet, it's bidirectional. Bidirectional communication. It also means devices or the instances can be patched, can be updated for any antivirus signatures, right? Right, so that means they can be kept in compliant, right? But the instances with private IP not do anything that is listed above. Why? Because they do not have a public IP, right? Because they do not have IP. A machine, in order to communicate with the internet, needs a IP. Now, this also means that this machine will never be touched, never be updated, is prone to attacks. So this machine will never be compliant, right? So this machine is in trouble. We want this machine to communicate with the internet. This device called A and this device called B, right? You can connect from machine A to machine B always, but you cannot communicate from B to the internet. Open up the browser, it doesn't work, right? So idea is to give this internet. So how do we do that? At your home, how does that happen? When you connect to the internet, can you connect to the internet from your home? Yes. Can somebody connect from the internet to your laptop? No. Well, that's the exact kind of setup that we want. Because from your network, look at this laptop, which is behind a wireless device. So look at this device. This laptop is a wireless device. Means you can connect to the internet, but nobody can communicate from the internet to your laptop directly unless you give them permissions, right? So that is a NAT thing that is happening. It is network address translation, NAT, a translation of private IP to a public IP. The private IP assigned to your instance will then be translated to a public IP. And when the packet goes out to the internet, it will be represented as a public IP, because private IPs have no significance on the internet. In the internet, the only thing that we need in the source and destination packets is the public IP. So what we're going to do here, we have to set up a NAT gateway. So apart from setting up an internet gateway like this, we will also need a NAT gateway, right? A NAT gateway will need a public IP. Solution for this is to set up a NAT gateway. Where do we set up the NAT gateway? Now NAT gate needs a public IP, a public representation. It needs an elastic IP. I hope you remember the difference between elastic IP and a public IP. Elastic IP is a static public IP, whereas a public IP is a dynamic public IP. It keeps on changing. Every time you read the device, the public IP will change. But if you do not want that to happen, then you assign an elastic IP to the device, right? Now here, it needs a public IP, that too, an elastic public IP, right? Rather remove this and let's put like this. It needs an elastic IP, and it must be set up in a public subnet, right? So what I'm going to do now is do this lab step by step. I'm going to create 2 instances. So this will be in North Virginia. And I'm going to create 2 instances, one public IP and one with a private IP, and demonstrate how the private instance can connect to the internet. And in this case, I'll quickly pick up a Windows machine, or rather a Linux machine is also okay. I'll do a Linux machine, okay, because that's faster. 1 GB RAM. So next, now this guy have yeah, I'll put them in one of these CGI VPCs, okay, and then I will put them in one of them in a public subnet. It gets a public IP, right, and rest of them we don't care. Just a review and launch. Right, and say launch and create a new key pair. Let's give it some name, connect Jan or something. Launch instances. So what now? Creating an instance in my VPC in the public subnet, and just ensure that it gets a public IP. Now, while that is being created, I also create a private instance. That means the instance in the same VPC, but in a different subnet. Looks like I got something here. I'll terminate this. Okay, so I'll launch another instance and select. And this time, I'll put this guy in a private subnet. This goes in a private subnet, and I ensure that it doesn't get a public IP. So this setting is disabled, which is good. And rest of the options we don't care. I'll just say review and launch. And I can select the same connect Jan key pair because we have it, right? So if you look at this, we've got 2 instances. One's got a public IP and doesn't have public IP, just has a private IP, right? So this is the exact setup we have: a public subnet with a public instance, a subnet with a private instance, and we connect from here to here, and then we must get internet with the help of NAT gateway, and we'll set it up. Now let's quickly convert this PEM file to PPK file. We got 3gen. Load. Now where's my file? Download. Save private key, yes. Put that on my desktop. Okay, that's done. Now, yeah, putty. So that's my public IP is right here. Refresh this. Right. And then point it to my PPK file, is this, and connect. EC2 user. Son, right here.
I have a question.
Yeah.
The PPK file only works with Linux, right?
Yes. Perfect for you don't need a PPK file. You just need a PEM file.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Okay. So what I'm going to do now is connect to the private instance from here, right? Because this is actually jump host. I'm going to connect from my to the private instance using a private IP. So this is connection. So far what I did is this: from the cloud, I connect from the internet, I connected to my web server. Now from here, connect to my database server, right? So do you have internet? 154. Do you think this machine will have internet? Yeah, this machine is a public IP, so it has internet. So just a sudo yum install, just something, install, and say stress. So I'll see. It is going on the trace and installing that, right? So sudo yum install install what? HTTPD. So it goes out to the internet and picks up things from the repositories, public, and then installs on the machine. That means it has internet. This is a public instance. Now we got to do the same thing on the private instance to see if internet works out, right? And if it doesn't, of course it will not, because it does not have public IP. So we'll set up a NAT gateway and get the internet going on the private instance, right? So how do we connect from the public to private? We need a key pair for this. So if you right click on this private instance, right click and say connect, it will tell you the step by step. So you gotta get your PEM key, give permissions, use this command, right? So I'm gonna open up my PEM key, whole thing, copy and go to my PEM file and do sudo vi and let's give it some name, connect.pem or something, yeah, enter, and then copy and paste the thing inside it and save it. Done. Now let's copy this. Just like that, right? So copy that and paste it. Enter. Are you sure you want to connect? Yes, I want to connect. Oh, please type yes. Okay. Alright, it got connected. See, the IP address changed as well. So this time it is 142. 142 like this. It was 154 earlier. So see, it was 154. But now after connecting to the private instance, it is 142. Private instance from here. You agree with me?
Yes.
Okay. So I got connected. Now on this machine, I'm gonna check if it works. Okay, loaded means priorities, and it is stuck there, right? It is stuck. It was very quick when it had internet on the public. You notice that it was fast, and by this time it just installed. So now it's, yeah, I cannot connect. So it timed out, timeout on HTTP repository. So these repositories could not retrieve mirrorless. It clearly says that it does not have internet. All right, you gotta have internet working. How do you do that? Well, you have to set up a NAT gateway. So for this, you'll PC and create a NAT gateway in your public subnet. Taking a while, so I'll go to gateways. This is very easy. All I have to do is two things. So I'm gonna go and create my NAT gateway in public subnet. What's my public subnet? Right, this one, right? CGI VPC, public VPC. Do I have an elastic IP here? No, I don't. So I'll create a new one. Just want to tell you that this is chargeable. You create an elastic IP, it's not free. So this whole lab is also chargeable. How much? A couple of cents, not even $1. Yeah, very less. So NAT gateway is created. It's in pending status. Good. So in the meantime, all right. So this has private IP address associated and a public as well. Yeah, I should get an elastic IP in some time. While that's going on, I will go and set up route so that this machine can communicate to the internet. I have just one route, right? There's only one route. Oh, this one NAT gateway thing. I'll just put this. Okay. Okay. If you look at this, this is the default route, right? This is the default where we have communication getting in from the internet and how we could connect to the public instance, right? Now I need to create another route table for my private instance. So we'll call this as some NAT gateway thing, NAT underscore gateway underscore route or something. Okay, create it. I think I missed it. So NAT underscore route underscore and create. Once this is created, we've got to add a route to our NAT gateway. Now I edit it, and this time I'm in connection to the internet from where? Okay, I'm connection to the internet from the NAT gateway. You see this NAT listed here now, and save it. One last step is that you have to associate a subnet to it. That means you may have 20 different private subnets, right? You may have different subnets. Out of this 20 subnets, which one do you want to have internet on? Well, I'll say out of this 20 subnets, I want my private instance, right? Just my private subnet internet. So we are done. We'll go back to my instance now, and then run that same command one more time, which is sudo what's going on? It's stuck or timed out. It looks like it is timed out. We got to disconnect this and time. So yeah, I'll connect this, and then here connect to the other one. Paste it, SSH, alt, browse. That's okay. All that is going connect to this. Oh, well, I have the command built right here. Done. Sudo yum install http. You see this, how it works quickly, because now it has internet. Is this clear? You understood
Yes,
the concept of NAT gateways here? Yeah. You have to do. First step is to create the instance, and then create the private instance as well. Now create well, connect them. Connect to public instance or connect to private instance, public instance. Right. Now to navigate to VPC, you click on NAT gateways, then create a NAT gateway. Create a NAT gateway in public subnet. Assign a static IP. Right? Cool. Next. Well, you go to routes, right? Navigate. Oh my God. Navigate to the route section, and then create a route. Now edit to add 0.0.0/0. I don't know what slash routes. Yeah. Right here. Add this to NAT gateway. Right now, on the associations tab, edit to add private net. Then connect to internet via instance. Right. So that's the step-by-step thing. Now this machine can be patched, this can be updated, signatures can be updated for compliance purposes, and whenever you don't give internet to this, just all you have to do is go to route tables, go to subnet associations, and edit and uncheck it and save it. That's all. It will not work anymore on this machine. Whenever you take a ticket, you don't want it, untick it. Right, downloading stopped right there. Right, try another mirror. It's blocked. Connection timed out. Okay. So that was NAT gateways. What we're gonna do tomorrow is Elastic Beanstalk. This one, Elastic Beanstalk, another interesting service, right? Specifically for the developers who would like to build the infrastructure without communicating with the infrastructure team. Now they build the entire infrastructure like load balancers, autoscalers, storage, and everything in just one single click. It's one single click deployment. How that done? Developers have to just focus on writing bug-free code, a secure code. Will spend more time doing that instead of focusing on building the infrastructure, right? Getting onto the business quickly as possible is what Elastic Beanstalk facilitates, and that's something we're going to do, right? Hopefully, concept of NAT gateways, please do the labs. Let's catch up tomorrow for another session. I will copy and paste this whole thing in the so you can put that in your notes. Everyone, that's that. I don't think you need this key file. Okay, so we'll catch up tomorrow again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.